All right. My name is Gonzalo. I'm originally from Corsicana, Texas. Born and raised. My parents are immigrants from Mexico. But during this time, when I was my experience, I had a mother, father, always worked, always trying to live the American dream. But in the root of that, they left the children with no experience of who to search for when they feel sad, who to search for when no one's around. And what we normally did, because we're a family of 5, which is my 5 brothers and sisters. I only have 1 sister. So the only thing we knew how to do was just search for love out in the street, because our parents always worked. And they always wanted to provide for us. They always wanted the American dream. They always wanted everything that they didn't have, which kind of did bad on us, because we had everything we wanted. Even though we were poor, God always took care of us. God always took care of us in everything. But God sent this history to me, because when I was 10 years old, my mother passed away. She passed away because she was very sick. She had asthma, and she had a blood clog in her artery, and stopped her heart. And we were 10 years. I was the oldest of the sons, and I was 10 years old. So where did I search for? What did I search for? I searched for. I didn't know. I didn't have a mother. My father, he was a drunk. He came home and literally beat us, because that's all he knew, because that's the way his father disciplined him, and that's how he disciplined us. He basically beat us. He came home drunk, beat us. We witnessed him beating our mother. So we learned violence. We learned violence, and when we wanted something, we wanted it with violence. And that's how we knew how to get something. If we wanted something, and if someone attacked us, we knew how to protect ourselves, because that's the way our father taught us. But when my mother passed away, there was a root of unhappiness, because I didn't know who to ask, who to go for when it was time for crying, because my dad was never there. I never had a father. In reality, I never had a father, because he was always away with his friends. So I never had a father at home, because he was a drunk. He was a drunk. And my mother tried to provide, because she would go out and always work, because she would provide our food, But when she passed away, we didn't know what to do. And my sister ran away. Because my dad used to beat her every day, so she ran away. So who did we have? It was 4 boys at the house. What do we know about cooking? What do we know about love? What do we know about anything? Nothing. So I had a buddy of mine who we grew up with violence. We grew up. My brothers in gangs. My brothers are all in gangs. All of them are in prison. All of them been in prison. One for violence, one for drugs, and all of them been involved in drugs. But God somehow or another, mysteriously, He protected me. He protected me from all that. Even though I was in the midst of all the drug handling, all my brothers smoking weed, my brothers doing cocaine. He protected me from all that, because I never had any interest of that. But until a buddy of mine found this church here, because I'm from Corsicana, and all I was worried about was what wasn't good for me. I went through college. I did nothing but drugs. I didn't do drugs. I went through college, but it was nothing but alcohol and sex. That's all I wanted. What was in it for me? My pleasure. And I used so many women because of that, because it was all about me, because everything that I did, that I saw, was for me, and everything that I did that was good, I did it myself, and no one else helped me through this. And when a friend of mine invited me to church, I was like, church, why should I go to church? I used to make fun of people who talked to me, and I wouldn't make fun of them, like, get out of my face, but inside of me, I would tell them, who are you to tell me who exists in my life and what love is. What love is. I know what love is. Love because my friends, love because the women that I slept with, love because of alcohol, and that's what I thought kept me happy. But in the root of it, when I graduated college, when I had a good job, I felt sad. I still felt sad, and I felt alone. I felt alone because I was by myself living in Dallas. I still had a lot of friends, but in the root of it, I still felt lonely. So how did I look for this? How did I feel this emptiness that I had? Because I had this emptiness, and I didn't know what was going on. So how did I feel it? I had sex every day. I would drink on the weekends, and there was things that I remember. I would fight every weekend. I would recall almost fighting because I felt threatened by someone else, or someone always thought they were. If someone thought they were better than me, then I would fight. Because I didn't have any choice. I thought I didn't have any choice. I thought because the way everything happened that I did this for myself. No, but I see it because God called me through this angel, right? He does miracles by this way, by your friends, and I saw that. My friend Oscar, he came and spoke last weekend, and he invited me. And the only way he invited me was because he says, yeah, there's a lot of girls are going to be there, and I was like, okay, I'll check out the girls. And that's to be honest, right? I mean, me and his brother came, and his brother came to the catechesis, and we did a whole ordeal where Jose Luis talked to us, and I always, because Jose Luis is from Spain, and I stopped speaking Spanish a lot. I would always fight with my friends, say, who's that white boy talking? I don't understand the Spanish. I don't understand what he's talking about. And I said, I don't even know why I'm going because I'm falling asleep the whole time. And he would always tell me, don't worry, just keep going, little by little you're gonna start understanding. And I figured, okay, whatever, I'll go. And then I got a job in Corsicana, and then I don't know why I would drive. Every Wednesday and every Eucharist, every Saturday, I would drive to Corsicana, unknowingly why I would go, but because if it was for me, I would never go to church. I would stay home. If it was for me, I would not be here talking. If it was for me, I would stay at home. I would probably be waking up from going out in the club. I still go out, but I mean now it's a different version because God has came into my life, and He said, He's talked to me because I have this relationship with God, where God has came into my life and said, Gonzalo, I love you for who you are. No matter if you're still a drunk, no matter if you still sin, no matter if you use women for affection, because I'm a very affectionate person because I search for love. I'm always searching for love, but where I forget is love is where the church is at, and the church has called me. The church has called me to live this experience, and say that because my mother passed away when I was 10. I was able to realize how the devil attacked me through that. He attacked me through saying, you never had a mother, but the Virgin Mary's always been there for me. The Virgin Mary's always protected me. The church, even God has protected me as a father because I never had a father figure. But I realized that through all this, the church as a mother has always opened its doors, like when a mother opens her arms and hugs you. That's how the church hugs you. The church has always hugged me that way. Has never rejected me for all that I've done. Nothing. I live this because God has a story for us, and has a history that I accepted, that I can say just because I sin doesn't mean that I'm going to stop going to church. No, I have friends who question this because I go out with them, and they question this, Gonzalo, why do you still continue going when you cuss a lot, or when you have this anger? I said I go to church because I need it, and I recognize that I'm a sinner, and that's what helps me out a lot. I mean, these sometimes it's hard for me. Sometimes it's hard for me to enter with all this with all that God is trying to give me, because all He's trying to give me is love. And that's what I search for, is always love. And to be able to accept myself, to be able to accept that my father was a drunk, that my mother passed away when I was 10, that I used a lot of women, but that's it. When I was 17, my father possibly told me that, because he's my catechist, so he knows a little bit he knows my history. So when I was 17, my father kicked me out of the house, and I didn't have anywhere to go. I was alone, but because of my madrina, she opened her doors to me and said, "Hey, you can come live with us." But imagine your father kicking you out of your house. Where do you go? Where do you go? I mean, you feel like you don't have anywhere to go. And for all these years, I judged my father because he always beat us. He was a drunk, and I always had this anger against my father. Had an anger against my father because when I saw the American fathers, I would see them how they would play soccer with their kids, or football or baseball, and I never had that. And that would make me more angry. Like, why can't my father do that? Why didn't my father do that? How come I never had a father like that? And I didn't speak to my father for almost 10 years. 10 years I didn't speak to my father. I would see him in Corsicana, and I would wave hi to him. I would just wave hi because out of respect, he was my father, so I would wave hi. Out of respect, out of not humiliating him in front of public, I would just say hi. He's my father. Oh, he's your father. Go say hi to him. Like my aunts and uncles would say, go say hi to your father. I would just wave. How's it going? Hey, you doing all right? And just wave like an old friend, like a passerby. Hey, how's it going? Like a stranger. And my father was a stranger to me. But the church has helped me to forgive my father for being this drunk, for being this father who used to beat me, when we were kids. I was able to go and forgive my father for having these judgments against him, and I forgave him, and I literally cried to my father because the devil works in crazy ways, because he attacks you the same way God tries to help you. The devil tries to be stronger, and I didn't want to forgive my father because I didn't want to speak to my father. I didn't want to tell him, Father, forgive me because I have judged you all these years. Hold on a second. I went to my father. I went to my father one night. I tell you the story because I went to my father, and I knew I had to do this. In order for me to get closer to God, I knew I had to do this. I went to my father, and I told my father, I said, I was looking for my brother because my brother stayed with my dad for a little bit, and I told my father, hey, is my brother Alejandro there? And he says, no, I think he went out with his friends. And I said, oh, okay. I said, where are you coming from? He said, I just got off work. And I looked at him, and I said, well, I need to talk to you, Father. And can I talk to you? He goes, yeah, sure. What's going on? And again, I never spoke to my father. 10 years without speaking to my father. And I said, hey, well, and I started crying. And my father was like, is everything okay? Is everything okay? I said, yeah. Look, I said, I have to do this. I said, I've judged you for the longest. I said, Father, I want to say that I love you. I love you for who you are. I said, you've been a father for me the best that you can, and I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for giving me life, and for not you and my mom not abandoning me, not aborting me when I was in the womb. I want to thank you for the life, and I want to apologize for everything that I've done as a child. I want to forgive me for I have judged you, Father, for all these years. I never wanted to talk to you because you used to beat us, because you were a drunk, because you were never a father, you were never at home, you never provided us a father. But I said, I realize now that the devil works that way, and forgive me, Father. And I was crying like a little baby, and I was crying because I suffered, because not because because it hurts because of my pride. I'm very prideful. So my father isn't so close to the church. He goes every Sunday, and he says, well, he goes, no, son, forgive me, because I know I've never been the perfect father to know that. I didn't come here for you to give me any reasons. I just came here for you to forgive me, because I've committed a great sin, and I've committed a sin that I judged you all these years. And I said, please forgive me, Father. And now I have this great relationship with my father, where I can talk to him and tell, I call him every weekend and say, hey, Dad, how you doing? How are things going? My dad remarried. When my mother passed away, my dad remarried. I have two step brothers. I call them brothers. I call them my brother and my sister. But it's kind of hard. But I still call them my brothers and sisters, and I ask them about how they're doing. And I'm able to. I have this better relationship with my father, and you guys have to understand this. I saw how I had a relationship with my father. I had the same relationship with God, because I thought that God had abandoned me, but He didn't abandon me. He was always there, and my father was always there, even though he was a big drunk. He child abused us. He was always there. He tried to be the best father he could. And because I had the same relationship with my father, I had the same relationship with God. But when I saw all this, and how the church gave me this miracle to see this, I was able to accept this love. I was able to accept myself for who I was, and get closer to God for what He has given me, and given me this perfect life, and given me everything, even though I think that he didn't, He has. After the danger, after all this and going through college and what the world has taught me, what the world has provided me, I live this. Okay. After all the harm that I did women, now I'm able to say that I'm chaste. For the guys, I'm very blunt with my words, so I no longer have sex, okay? I no longer have sex. It's been quite some years, okay? It's been years.
Vamos a seguir danzando, dando gracias al Señor por estas cosas que hace. No él, no Gonzalo, sino el Señor.